this computer. All right. Everybody look cute for the start. That's me looking cute. All right, let's see. Share screen. What do I have right here? And share. Okay, let me put y'all over here out of my way. It's still loading, so let me give it a minute. All right, so let's get started. So media kit for beginners. Okay, so what is a media kit? So basically it's just your resume. It's gonna be your blogger resume, what you're gonna go and what you're gonna show your businesses. And it essentially is gonna give them a quick preview into who you are. Yes, they can look on your Instagram, but when someone says, hey, can I have your media kit? That's when you need to have this ready, because the media kit's gonna tell them your engagement, reach, previous brand collabs, and basically like what you stand for. So it's gonna really give them an opportunity to just kind of like get a quick preview of who you are. So before you even start doing your media kit, here's some of the things that you're gonna need. So I would say go on a Word document and write down all of the collabs that you've done in the past year. I mean, I'm talking about like whether, you know, even if it's DSI stuff, I did a collab with Endorphin, I did a collab with this, with that, write all of those down. And then highlight the ones that you consider to be your top collabs. So like, some of my top collabs, like I have like Whataburger. I know some girls who have like Walmart, or like they have like those really cool collabs that they've done. Like highlight those big ones. And even if it's local, like let's say it's like Sweet Tooth Hotel, I have that on there so that if I'm pitching to a local place, they know that I've worked with local spots. Then gather photos of you. So you'll need to have either a headshot or a good photo that you want basically to highlight you, because there's going to be quite a few portions of like where you're going to like input those photos. And then if you have a logo, make sure you're including that logo with that media kit. So then you're going to need to have your stats and your numbers. And that's where Jen in a minute, she's going to talk about your insights, and she'll tell you a little bit more on how you can get that information. But that's basically how you can kind of go. Now I have on here, you can go to flanks.com, and it basically has an engagement calculator. And if you're not just using the stats off your Instagram, you can use this calculator as well. And it's basically going to give you the common stats of follower numbers, average likes, average comments, Instagram engagement, your blog demographics, which is going to be sex, age, location. Okay, so the 3 methods to creating your media kit. So step 1 is going to be your DIY media kit, which is Canva. So I'm going to share with you guys real quick. I'm going to actually come on Canva and show you guys. That way y'all don't only have to guess, y'all can actually see. All right, let me see. New share. And we are sharing. All right, tell me when y'all can see that. Can y'all see this? Okay, so if y'all go to canva.com, you can literally go in here and search media kit. So look at all of these options of things that you can choose. So I actually chose this one. And you can actually go in, and it has just like the basic thing. It's like a whole base of like what you can fill in. So you can like replace these photos with photos from your camera reel. You can fit this in. And then what it ended up looking like was, let me find the photo real quick. Let's see. I think I can just pull it up on mine over here. Let's see, let me go to Canva. 1 second, guys. Technical difficulties. Okay, so this is what my actual media kit ended up looking like. So I took exactly what you just saw on Canva and I filled it in. Here's my logo. Here's the photo of me. Here's this right here, okay? So this has, as you can see, it says Joshua Photography is a Dallas lifestyle content creator who showcases locations, food, places in Dallas. She's also been a professional photographer since 2013. And she's also the business owner of an influencer marketing agency, blah, blah, blah. So it gives a little bit about me. It has me, you know, being cute over here in the corner. It has my elsewhere, and it has my instantly, they look at my media stats. They can see how many followers, what my average likes, what my average reel views are, average comments, and my Instagram engagement. So it's just a quick, easy overview for this business to actually take a look and see who you are, kind of what you stand for. And it's like a good generic for them to take a look at. And like I said, I just did something as simple as filling, like, and that's the thing, like I said, you have to gather all this information before you even start. So let's go back over to our presentation here. Okay, so that's our DIY. So you can easily edit that kit. There's some pre-made ones, and there's a couple of examples. So it's basically like the one I just showed you, mine. And then take a look at this lady. So the only reason, like, I'm not too crazy about what her setup is here, but when I look at her, I instantly see really big brands. I see she's worked with MasterCard, Under Armour, GMC, Disneyland. I'm like, damn, Becca, invite me. Like, so you know that she works with these brands, and you can instantly see what she says. Okay, I kind of like what she did with pricing. She said partnerships can be tailored to fit your company's needs. So she's not scaring them off. She's saying, I can fit your company's needs. She's not saying like, this is what you have to pay me and that's it. And she said, please contact me directly. And this is kind of what she has going here. So let's see. Okay, step number 2 for a media kit, you can also buy a template. So something that, for example, like Maria, she told me like, I don't want to use Canva so much because everybody uses Canva. I want mine to look special. Cool, that's great. Here are 3 links, and I can send you guys this PDF after the training. I just wanted to see who hopped on, but I'll send you guys this, and it includes the links to 3 different spots where you can actually just get and purchase these media templates. They might be $2, $3, $5, but it just keeps yours from looking exactly like everybody else's. It's the same thing as Canva. You're still gonna fill in the blank. It just keeps you from looking generic from everyone else's. You know, what's gonna make yours like pop out from everyone else's. And then the very last one is gonna be hire a media kit designer. Keep it simple, but this is gonna cost you money. So they're still gonna ask you for the same things. They're gonna ask you for your media kit. They're gonna ask you for your photos. They're gonna ask you for your stats. They're gonna ask you for all of that. Like, they're not gonna put that work in, but they will design everything for you. So if you guys have never used Fiverr, or I don't know, is it Fiverr or Fiverr or whatever? But using this link here, you can basically just search media kit and people will come up like this. So she said, I will design a media kit or a press kit for a brand, blogger, influencer. And her prices are starting at $30. So basically you just say, hey, I would like for you to help me create my media kit. Boom, this lady can make it for you. Make it happen if you want to do that route. But again, if you're wanting to do a cheaper option and just create your own and be in control, you could do Canva. And here's just a super simple, basic way to do it. Businesses aren't going to always ask for those media kits, but it's a really great, you know, it's great to just have it, because a lot of times it's going to be the ones that are going to actually pay you. When they ask you for a media kit, they're looking at your prices, or they're going to want us to have a little more information about you. Okay. So speaking of pricing, if you guys are kind of wondering how to maybe price yourself out, you can take a look at, you can actually even just Google it, but it's Influencer Marketing Hub, and it basically more or less calculates how much you would actually make. So according to this, and I did this a while back ago because I had, you know, 8,000, but according to this, I should be making anywhere from $73 to $122 per post. And, you know, that's just a base pay. It's not going to give you an exact number, but I'll give you an example. When I first started, I did a Whataburger collab. They paid me $100 for a permanent post. So that kind of might set something. If you can compare it to other, I guess, campaigns or things like that, you can kind of have an idea of where you need to be. And again, you're gonna determine how much work you're gonna put into this. So you also determine your pricing. But this is just a good thing. It'll give you a good little like base thing. Again, it's the Influencer Marketing Hub. So I'm gonna let Jen talk a little bit about Instagram Business Insights, and then we'll talk a little bit about pricing, actually creating your pricing sheet.
So I'm going to go through while looking at my media kit and let you guys know the information that I pulled out from my insights. And then I will go over kind of where you can find that on your profile as well. So first things first, if you're not already in a creator or a business account on Instagram, it's definitely switch as soon as you can. That's going to give you the statistics that you would need about your profile in general. The one thing that I would start with is figure out your overall reach. So for me, I include both my Instagram and my Pinterest. You might include your TikTok, but give an overall reach. How many people are you having see your stuff on a monthly or weekly basis, something like that. You can click on your audience. Audience is going to be the third line down on Insta. I'm working on my phone, so I can't look at it exactly, and be aware it's not on, your insights are not on the web browser. So When you go into your insights though, you'll see your audience. It's in under followers, and finding where, yeah, Josh, do you want to look at yours? Do you have it up? Are you on your browser?
Josh, you're on mute.
Yeah, hold on. I'll get on it, but keep talking while I look for it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, because it's split into content, activity, and audience on Instagram. So I believe audience is the third one down. So on my media kit, I have where my audience is. So I have top audience states, and I have further broken it down by screenshotting the audience cities on the Instagram insights, and I've shared that with brands several times to let them know like how I have influence in this city or that city. But on my media kit, I have states. I have my audience ages. So I have a graph basically showing the density of followers in certain age groups. I also have how many percentage of that audience is women versus men. You can see all of this here on your Instagram, and you can simply screenshot and crop these areas. I personally have my insights from FOHR4.com. Once you start using that, your insights will pop up there too. And their insights just happen to be the exact color that I have on my media kit. So it was just a matchy thing, but you could always edit the photos if you wanted to match it. But screenshot from Insta if you need to.
What is that website called again? FOHR?
Yeah, 4. So you'll see top locations of cities and countries in your insights on Instagram, but you'll see states on 4. So that's why I've looked at more national campaigns with that. I also have categories of influence. So you can see that in my bio. I have a couple things listed that I like to do, but 4 actually gives you a percentage of their algorithm, like calculations of your influence. So I happen to have that on my media kit as well. But one thing that you can see in terms of your influence on Instagram is your followers and how many people are online at certain times. So I look at this, and I also look at the views on each of my posts to get an average of weekly views. So on my media kit, I have my total reach on all social media platforms, and I also have my total like weekly views. And then in a little box on the bottom, I'm going to do all of the statistics in a summary, like how many followers I have, what's my engagement rate, weekly views, monthly views, etc. So that summarizes one page. I personally also have testimonials on there. So if you can get reviews from people that have worked with you and get them submitted, you can kind of do that too. Anything else I can mention on that?
So do all of y'all know how to look for your insights? Have y'all all actually looked at it? Do y'all have a business account where y'all can take a look and
maybe
and
talk about the basics for a second.
Yeah, so like we were telling, I think Athena asked the other day, you know, she was asking like, how do you see the actual like, so I don't know if you guys knew, but at the very bottom, you can see what your best times are. You can actually click on the people at the bottom and it'll let you know how many people are actually on at the time. So you'll go into followers, you'll scroll to the very bottom. At the very bottom, it'll have like that little pie chart that's up and down, and it'll actually show you what your best times actually are. So let me see, I can actually share that. There's this little screenshot.
So on that, it's an average of active users in those time zones over your last week. Your insights are always on a weekly run. And then if you want to actually know, as Joshua mentioned, who's online right now, you can even see that. You can go into create in your stories. And when you go into live, you'll see how many active users are online. So if you ever want to compare what the average was compared to like what it actually is Monday at noon, you can do that.
Okay.
Anything else in there you want to point out, Josh, in insights?
No, I think that's pretty good. I think that as far as like insights, so again, you can look at FOHR. You could take a look at PHALNX, which is like flanks. You can look at either one of those, and both of those are really good. It's going to give you, and is for free, the FOHR one?
I think so.
Do you just
I mean,
have
I've
to
never
log in?
paid for anything. So what I have is
Okay.
I've gotten for free. Yeah.
Okay,
As
so
Jocelyn mentioned, Influencer Marketing Hub as well. That's really good for audience interests. It has like that influence category thing too.
absolutely. So, okay. So our final thing we're going to talk about, and then we'll open up into Q&A for whatever you guys want to talk about. But our final thing is going to be our price sheet. So again, I'm using Canva. And all I did was come over here and search price sheet. And so I kind of came down, and if you notice, you kind of have a bit of just like menus, right? So I took a look at this and I said, okay, for a pricing sheet, it's loading here. But for a pricing sheet, I said, okay, we kind of have, you know, this little thing. It has the pancakes and waffles. And the main thing when you see these, you're going to need to have a pretty good imagination of what it could possibly look like. So what I actually ended up making it look like, and I'll share if you give me 1 second here. Let's see. So, okay, it should be loading now. And this is what it ended up looking like. So, and this is just a pretend thing, but I did it like literally before this call. So you could put in your photos, and like you saw the original, all it was literally just a thing that had like brownies and this and that. So you could create your pricing sheet more or less to look like a package thing, or you could do a step-by-step, but like I did a VIP full package, $350, a royalty package, a basic package, a pick and choose, and then maybe giving what your additional services are. Do you have a TikTok? Do you have a Pinterest? Do you have a blog? Do you have Instagram Live? I don't know, whatever it's going to be, but just put your pricing there. And you can kind of even tell them maybe as a disclaimer at the top, like it's dependent on, you know, we can fit your business needs, which is what we saw on the other one, right? Where she said, you know, anything that we can do, we can fit your business needs, we can make this happen. So, do any of y'all have a pricing sheet? Do y'all do something similar to this? Or do you guys just have like a very specific, like post is this, stories is this? Like, how do you guys kind of have it?
I can start, Jocelyn. Mine was
Right.
exactly what you're describing on Canva. I started with a menu. I changed colors and photos first to ensure I had the layout I wanted, and then literally waited until the last second to edit the text. At that point, I basically laid out exactly how the text fit in nicely. I didn't really do anything from a list of my own. I literally played around with that menu to make it look pretty. And I started with a la carte stuff, like one permanent post, this, one that. And then I had it in categories of media. So I have like photos, videos, etc., that sort of thing. And then because the menu had the Sundays on the bottom, I have packages listed on the bottom in that area. So I would urge people to just know, you know what you do. So go around and find a menu, throw your colors in it. It won't be right the first time. Play around, switch it up, look at something else, and you know, send it to your mom and see if she's impressed. That's literally how it worked for me. I was like, this look good. So,
and y'all can certainly send it
anyone
over
else?
to us. We'll review it and take a look at it. But I mean, does that make sense as far as like what pricing and things look like? So that's the main thing. I think people get a little too far in their head. So I can even show you.
Oh,
So
I could say one more.
Yeah, go ahead.
One more thing about pricing. So when we talk about like pricing making sense, so I will have a brand, think about what you've done in the past. Has a brand ever worked with you and asked for 3 permanent posts, 20 stories, Is that something that you've ever sold before? Maybe I'll put that at the top of your media kit. Is it really a deal? Think about that too. If you're getting a combo at a fast food restaurant, is that cheaper than buying everything individually? So to sort of rank, start with like your most basic, most asked for thing, and then add on, and then make a package out of that minus a little bit. So it's more exciting for someone to get the deal of going with a package, and you're going to get more income, but it's a deal for them. Something like that, if that makes sense to set it up. That's what I would suggest.
And here's the thing. I am going to tell you right now, pricing is going to change depending on the company. So I had a company who I thought was like in the middle range. And what I did was, and let me see if I can get this going here. Where is the, here I am. Okay. So what I did, and this is kind of like what my pricing sheet was, I kept it super simple. I didn't have the a la carte menu. I simply told them my permanent post was this many Instagram stories was this, just because I knew that they were going to be on that lower end and maybe not be able, but I did want to work with them. And they said, okay, that sounds like something I can do. And then, Shay, this might actually be good for you. I also offer my professional photos, right? So I say 10 professional photos of just the product, not including me. It might look like $100, or a reel with my experience, just because of my views, it could be $100. And then again, my most recent collabs, I put like those really top ones that I really would want to kind of put out there and have people know that I've been a part of. I kind of have that there. And again, a photo of me, a photo of my logo, and I put additional content packages are available upon request. So if they do want to have something else, they can do that. But this also keeps it kind of simplistic, to the point. I just show it to them. And again, like, every single time for me, the prices change. Whoever reaches out to me, like I had a mask place who I really had zero interest in partnering with, but they were kind of like, hey, would you like to partner with us? And I was like, sure. Like, a permanent post is $350. And they're like, oh, thanks. But if they would have said yes, I would be out there wearing a mask for $350. So like, on those collabs that maybe don't make sense for you, maybe those are the ones you're not afraid to like ask for more, you know what I mean? But like in that particular case, I really wanted to work with that brand. And I said, okay, I'm going to come at them at like a decent price, maybe a little lower than some other influencers who might be asking for 100 to 150, and see if they'll end up choosing me. So it's definitely one of those things that you're going to want to just kind of like see who you're pitching and see what makes the most amount of sense. So I'll kind of go around to
if you do that in the beginning, like Jocelyn does, and you talk about the brand you're working with beforehand, you will be less likely to negotiate against yourself. I think that's my biggest tip as we close out like the pricing sheet combo, is when you put something on there, maybe make it $20 to $50 more than your last collab, so that you show your increased training. If you've been working on yourself, if you've bought more equipment, if you've paid for more services, make sure you factor that in. I have increased each time I've gotten a collab that's paid by $50, and was at a point where it was the most I'd ever would have made. And the company said, am I correct? Is this the right total? And I almost offered a discount against myself. Like, so be careful not to, undercut yourself if it's a larger company too. So, but you were right on with that, Josh. So I thought I'd add on. Thanks.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's one of those things that, you can't help but a lot of times have that like imposter syndrome. But here's the thing. If they are asking for a media kit, because there's going to be those times that like we do now, it's an exchange for product. But if they're asking for a media kit, they're trying to see what your prices are. So keep in mind, maybe the outfit you have to purchase, the gas you're going to have to spend, the tip you're going to have to give. So let's say that all in all, your outfit's $20, the gas is $10, and then the tip you're going to give is like another $10. You're already starting at a -40, a -50. So really, what should you be charging? What do you think all of that all in all should be? Is it $60, $70, $80? Like, you need to incorporate those things, because those are things you aren't thinking, and stuff that's coming out of your budget to get a free collab. So in my opinion, all the stuff that you guys get with DSI, especially if you guys are just starting out or don't have much experience, all you're doing is building that influencer resume, so that maybe we're giving you that foot in the door to kind of go, and I've worked with this. You can say, I worked with Legacy Hall. Yeah, I did a food collab with them. So we're just like the people who kind of get you those different things you can add to your resume, so you can get to that point and say, hey, I worked with all of these people, and this is what I'm worth. So that's kind of like, that's kind of like where we are as far as like helping you guys get stuff on that actual media kit. So I'm going to go around to each of y'all and then just kind of see if you guys have any questions or anything. It doesn't even have to be about this. If you have any questions outside of this too, we'll definitely answer them. So Miss Shay over there, I see you first.
No, I don't think I have any questions actually.
Okay, perfect. That was easy.
Yes.
Miss Mandy.
So how do you price yourself without so I have a media kit, and the trouble that I had, like, when I first started out was, like, obviously I was just Googling stuff and like putting what I thought I should on there. And I did send it to a couple companies, and they were like, and I was like, oh, maybe I'm like shooting myself too high in that one. But then at the same time, like, I don't want to put things that are too low, you know what I mean? So like, yes, my average on online says I can ask like $50 to $80 per post. Like, what do you put then? Things like that. Like, how do I know? Like, you have your package. Obviously, you have like way more followers and stuff like that. So for your packages, like, how do you know like
So,
what's the right amount to not undersell
So you
yourself?
definitely I don't think you're shooting yourself in the foot. I think you're pricing where you probably think you need to be. So like, let's say you are for sure, without a shadow of a doubt, and it's going to be something that you feel like, let's say that you think that you should be making $50 for that post, depending on who you're working with, right? They're going to give you a product. They're going to pay you $50. Like Jen said, don't shoot yourself in the foot. That's your cost. That's your price, period. The only other thing I could suggest is when they come back and they're like, I don't know, then be like, so what is your actual budget for this? And what is it that you're looking for? To maybe continue that conversation. And if they're like, well, we don't have a budget, then why the hell are they asking you for a media kit at that point?
Sure.
But I would definitely say don't lower your prices just so that you can collab with them, because they may not be that right collab for you. If they're willing to not pay you for your time, then they may not be the collab for you. So I would say if that's what you feel your worth is, leave it at that. The only comeback I would say would be kind of like, oh, okay, well, what were you kind of looking for as far as, like, what is your budget for marketing, or what is it that you guys were like looking for, to maybe see if you could continue the combo. But Jen, do you have anything else on that?
Yeah, I would say you have to beef up the proof of what you're asking for. So you need to get paid the amount you're asking for many times and put that company and the work you did on your media kit. So I will show marketing photos I took for large brands. I will put press that I've had about a brand collab or something on the media kit. The potential for adding brands to your list of past work may need to be expanded in your first couple months. So for me, let's say you want $100 post, right? Per post, because you once got paid $100. This is kind of how I started. I was like, well, they did it once. That's not how much it costs. But I had to kind of accommodate maybe a really cool product. So when I would go and get like a Botox or something, that's a $400 service. So I'm factoring in that I'm probably not going to get paid for that post. That maybe isn't a great example because that's a larger amount. But let's say it's a $80 face cream. Can you lower your price to $25 because you really want to get a face cream from a really popular company that will get you more high paid collabs in the future? I had to play that game for a while. So my list of brands now is a lot larger because I made some compromises.
So like with the Erin Condren collabs that I do, like this last one for the holiday thing, they sent me like $200 worth of stuff. So then I like obviously didn't ask them for money because it saves me money.
I would do a post for that. I did a post for less for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense.
And another thing too, like I think you can set those. So like, I'll give you an example. So the most recent one is I had a collab with Vidora, and Vidora said, hey, I'm going to give you 2 free drinks and a $50 food credit. And so recently I went and I pitched a spot, and they had never really worked with influencers before. And they said like, well, what would you like? And I said, well, I've worked with a couple of other places and typically they'll give me a $50 food credit. I said, for example, Vidora, and I forwarded them the photo and I said, this place give me a $50 food credit and 2 free drinks. And they're like, sure, that works. So like, if like Jen said, your other collabs are going to set that tone. If you haven't gotten paid yet, you just have to yellow it. And like, bitch, you got to lie half the time. You're gonna be like, yeah, I mean, I get paid like $100 every single time. I don't know what to tell you. So like, it has to be one of those things where you have to sometimes you have to fake it till you make it. So there's going to be times where you're going to have to be like, that is my pricing. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And like Jen said, it only makes sense if this is a brand you love and you're going to save some money on. That totally makes sense. But other than that, because like there for a while, it was a slippery slope because I was like, oh my God, I got an email and they're going to give me a free espresso machine. And I'd be like, oh my God. And then I'm like, but I don't need this. Or it'd be like, you get 1 free cream. And I'm like, yes, I get something free. And then I would have to post about it. And it was more effort to take the photo of the cream, to post a thing, to put it up, and it was like, what was the purpose of this? And I'm not even using this. My line isn't even skincare. I was like, nah, screw this. Like, you have to find stuff that fit your brand, that makes sense for you. And just because it's free doesn't mean you should post about it. So it's better to just kind of wait for those things that make sense and just keep making your Instagram look good. They'll come to you. It'll be good. You still have to keep pitching. Have you been pitching?
I will say this though, there's a way that I would personally recommend practicing before so your work gets better, and maybe put like your top 3 or 4 posts on your media kit, or even the photos you have for the brand. But you may want to start looking off Instagram for collabs. Now that sounds a little odd, but if you think about your day, how many hours in a day you want to work as an influencer. So for me, it's like 6 to 8. How much money you want to make in a day and how much you need to be making per hour. So I came from a corporate job, so per hour makes sense to me, but this is just where I find my bare minimum. So if I'm going to do a collaboration and it's going to take me a half hour, the value of that product can be a little lower for me, but basically getting to about what I would need to make for half an hour work. And if it's more than that, then sweet, I'm making bank. And I will work with different apps. So there's Incense, INSENSE, Incense, where you'll actually either barter for a service, like a 30-second video or a 15-second video. Most often it's not going on Instagram, and you're bartering for the product, or you set your bid. So you can be like, I'll make this 15-second video for you and not post it on Instagram for $50. And they'll come back with like, sure, or yes, but we also want this or that, and it's a good way to sort of like step your game in, like your foot into the game without really doing random pitching, because you aren't really going to know the brands. But if you're kind of like okay with practicing and not always putting it on Insta, you can always throw 1 or 2 on your media kit because you did work with them and got paid, and it can build up. The other one I do is Billo, BILLO. That one is just random products sent to your house, and usually it's like a 15-second video, and depends on how many you can fit in, you get paid. For me, it's enough that I don't have to post like 1 or 2 paid collaborations on Insta, and it's a way of kind of like saving my brand there for the products I truly love that really, really make somebody who wants to watch my page excited about that product, So try Billo, try Incense. I know other people have suggested other ones, but those are the ones I would say for practice.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's why we keep saying, like, whether you're pitching on Instagram. So that's the thing. Like, us, we can only do so much. You still have to be able to like pitch locations. So like pitch different, like we talked the last training, pitch a bunch of different locations, make your list, pitch them. If you're not getting a good response, let's come back and see what you're sending. And then like Jen's saying, going outside of that, what apps are you using? So like I apply constantly to the stuff like on Maverick. I have a couple of, what was the other app? I applied to some stuff yesterday that I found. Like, I'm always applying to random stuff. And similar to what Jen was saying, I got a message yesterday from this lady who was like, hey, I want to send you some products. Stop eating that. I want to send you some products. Sorry, my cat's eating the tree. I want to send you some products, but you don't have to post it on Instagram. All you have to do is review it on Amazon. And I was like, sure. I mean, that cost me nothing. I get 2 free shirts, and I don't have to do anything other than review it. And she was like, yeah, can you just send me some pictures and just send it to me? So that Billo app is very similar to kind of that concept, that sometimes you're just going to send them videos and they're going to pay you $20-$30 and you're not even having to put it on Instagram, which starts to become a thing, because after a while, that your space on Instagram becomes sacred, right? Because each post is money, and each post has the potential to get you another brand collab. So having a bunch of like low end collabs isn't gonna look too great, because it's like, oh, she takes anything, everything, so why are you wanting to get paid type thing. So anywho, hope that answered your question, Miss Mandy. Miss Katie, any questions?
I don't, well, so since I'm pretty much just starting out, I'm always hesitant to like, because I haven't really collabed with anyone, even in like a non-paid thing. So I'm always like hesitant to make like a media kit and be like, hi, here's me. I haven't done anything, but hire me.
I would say you can put on there that you've partnered with Bella Modeling. You've partnered with Chelsea. You partnered with Nilo Plano. You've partnered with any collab you've done with us, name drop those people too. So like, that's the thing. You have to stop thinking in terms of like this was only mine and what you've been involved in. If you've partnered, like today, you helped Chelsea. So you can be like, I was the, I don't know, the executive assistant of Chelsea, whatever, of the stylist, and we partnered with Nylo and blah, blah, blah. So put that information and hype yourself up just as much as a resume where you like, I speak Italian and you don't, like add those things on there. And, you know, it's going to make your, for now, you know, like what we're saying, add all those things. And as you get those collabs, you can put like, you know, the ones you've actually like legitimately done. But even if it's something as simple as like, if you went to Legacy Hall, you could put like, I partner with them. If whatever it is, just start putting those little things on there. Anything you've done in the past, as far as like styling and different things, it doesn't have to always be food. It could be the styling stuff. It could be the different collabs you've done in the past. Throw those on there. Those are going to help you for all your other stuff. So definitely don't be afraid to add those on there.
My collabs, like my brand partnerships, are under an umbrella of like Nora, I would rather be brand partnerships. And then they're under subcategories of things that I would like to think I'm most specialized in. You can be really creative with that, Katie. You could put styling activities or like modeling experience. You could very much label that as to like what it is underneath, like make the lists and then kind of like put a nice little title. Mine, I think, are like wellness or something, and travel, and national and local. So I kind of have different areas like that. So you could think even just like local businesses I've worked with, and you could include so much, or you could break it down. So
Okay.
So I hope that helps a little bit, but definitely. So like I showed you on that first thing. So I would make it just as simple as like a photo of you. If you don't have a logo, that's fine. Just add a second photo of you. Say who you are, a little baby introduction about yourself. Show your insights, show, you know, how many people is viewing, add all those things on there. And then just add maybe two, or maybe let's say like at least 4, and you can fit that somewhere on that space of like, have done these things, or just leave that off. Just completely leave it off and just send them exactly that. Just a little like preview of who you are. And then maybe put your cost. You instead just put like one permanent post is this, and just leave it at that. You know, if you don't want to have to like fake the funk and you just want to like leave it at that. So you could just do that for now. And then as things come up, you can slowly start fitting that in. Cause like mine is 2 pages, and that second page is the one that includes the actual collabs that I've done. And then it has the pricing. So when I send it to them, it's 2 pages.
Okay.
All right.
my
So
rate sheet is entirely separate from my media kit as well, if anyone is curious. I don't send it initially. So
shame. Miss Gabby, anything? Looking all cute over there.
Hi.
You're muted. I can't hear you. I can see you moving your face. Hello.
Okay, there we go. So my question is more so like, I've only done one paid collab. And so I don't know like what the threshold is between getting paid versus just like the free stuff, you know?
So it's going to be dependent on, okay. So I find that most of the stuff here locally, when it comes to like the different things that we've done, like the media previews, they consider the fact that you're getting to go to the media preview as a form of payment. So essentially you don't have to pay. So like the equivalent of going to a media preview is that you're getting free drinks and treats. So that costs money. And also you're essentially getting a free ticket for you and someone else to get to go. So in their mind, that is a form of payment. So that's what I would consider the free stuff here. As far as location goes, when it comes to like food and things like that, you have to take into account sometimes that they're looking at like, okay, this is what it's going to cost. I think you're going to come to a point where after a while you're like, okay, these things don't make sense for me. At first, it's great to get all the different free stuff to kind of like just build that resume, build it. Once you have that established and you have all of these collabs, even if they're free, that's when you can take a step back and go, this doesn't fit me anymore. Let me actually find collabs that are going to pay me to post about their location, about their food, about their things. So it's really going to be, it's entirely dependent on you. So if you're reaching out, the hardest thing I would say is if you're pitching locations, telling them like, hey, I would love to visit your spot. This is my pricing. Would you like, you know, I'd love to partner with y'all. Those are going to be left on red a little more often just because you have so many people who are willing to do it for free. But I would say like the stuff that Jen's talking about when it comes to the apps and different stuff like that, you should be getting paid for that. So if they want you to post their product on your Instagram and there's some random, you need to be saying like, you need to pay me for this. Absolutely. So Jen, do you have any other insight on that?
I guess I would say that I have definitely taken things for free specifically to get that brand on my media kit. So if you're looking to like draw a line somewhere between what is paid and who you've worked with and who cares, I would put anything that you've gotten sent to you that you did an active piece of content publicly for. So, or if you were paid for it, obviously, but if we're not talking about paid and you did post something, you know, for a gift, I know Tamika does this a lot. She'll post stuff that she got as a PR package and then make a post out of it. Sorry, my phone's dying. And she will then have that consistency of saying like, hey, I've worked with this brand before. But I will definitely take something for a post for product if I really want that brand on my media kit, because I know it's going to lead to other things. There's a cap on that, I know, for everybody. And like Jocelyn just said, at some point you're like, okay, that's full up. I got everything I need. Now you see what I've done. Pay me.
And what are they asking for in return? If they turn around and say, hey, we're going to send you 1 face cream and we would like 2 reels, 1 permanent post, and 3 to 4 stories, you go, that's cute. Like, no. Like, now if in exchange they're going to say, hey, we just want an Amazon review, or they say all we want. So I got to a point where I started being a little bougie, being like, I will not post you on my permanent post. I will only do a story of you guys. So like I got this like hair wand thing, and I actually thought it was really cool. I actually use it all the time. And they were like, yeah, like, I was like, they were like, we want a permanent post. And I was like, I don't want to do a permanent post of that. It just doesn't make sense, but I will totally post it on my story if you send me the product for free. And they were like, okay, cool. And they sent it to me. And I was like, great, I can do a story all day. So it's definitely one of those
Talk
things
them down from a post if it's not a brand that fits with your stuff.
Yeah, so just
That's a really
see
good
what,
one.
I think that's where you draw the line. Like, what are they asking? So like a media preview, you had a good time, super simple to post something. If it's just 1 permanent post, a couple of stories, that's not like, that's no harm. But like I turned down the giveaway thing with Prairie Lights because they were like, you have to do a second post to do a giveaway. And I was like, girl, I didn't get enough photos to do 1 post. Like I half-assed put that post up. So I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. So that's where I drew my line there of like, it just doesn't make sense for me. I didn't get good enough content. It just wasn't a good night for me to get content. So I'm not going to post them again. So I think that's where you kind of draw the line. Like like, if you're asking me for 2 posts at that point, I'm giving you a lot of time compared to other brands that I've probably gotten more from. So like, what are you getting in return? And like, what are they asking? So definitely that's where I would primarily draw that line. Is that it?
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, awesome. All right, Miss Emily, your turn. Last but not least, any questions?
I guess my question would be, there's only been one company that reached out to me, but I didn't even negotiate just because it kind of scared me how they wanted me to, they didn't ask for a media kit or anything like that. They asked for me to give them finished pictures, like 10 finished pictures for them to put on their site or whatever, because they liked my vibe. I'm like, 10 finished pictures and different things in each one, like promoting your product. That's like, I need to get paid like between $500 to $1,000 for that. So when I started, because I can't take my own pictures, I'm gonna like, I can put a tripod, but the kind of quality that it seems like you're going for. So that just kind of like, I guess it's more of a statement and not much of a question. It's just like, that's the only thing that has happened for me. Everything else that I've done is basically through you guys or by association of one of you guys. So I'm still a newbie.
I would say practice, 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 because you would be surprised what brands will accept. So yeah. I have done it for not posting on my Instagram, and you will find me, I will be like, look how cute it is, no makeup, like I do not care, because I will not see this. someday someone's gonna be like, is this you want a Facebook ad? And I'll be like, no, not me. But you know, I don't know. But the point is, like, you can definitely get by with trying to submit stuff in portrait mode. Real quick, let me show you guys something. Okay, so this is what I use for those product shots. This is from Daiso, and this is just one of them. Hold on, I have another one. This is how messy my room is right now. They're just literally laying all around. So this is my marble one, and this one is folded because I previously shot a product sitting right here. And with the right portrait mode and everything, these are like $3. So I will use them as a total backdrop. Like if I need to be somewhere, I will literally put it behind me and then get a new background. So it's definitely a way to get really good at product photography, is to just like get some tools that'll help you. And these are just $3 at Daiso. So if you start getting to a point where you're like, oh yeah, I can take, like, I would do 10 photos in a half hour, be done, pour a little water in a mirror, throw some flowers in it, boom, 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 done. But you have to get to a point where you've done it and it's not going on your Instagram and you could care less.
Yeah.
And then asking that amount that makes sense. So like if you're going to say, you know, I went 10 professional photos and it's you in it, and then you're wanting to hire a photographer, then you have to say, okay, probably getting a photographer to shoot your product and possibly take photos of you and give you 10 edited photos of their work for you to submit. I mean, you're maybe looking at $100, $150, $200, and then whatever you're wanting to make after that. So, you know, you have to kind of take that into account. But like what Jen's saying is like for example, that Billow app, bro, like literally you could be looking at like a mess and just be like, oh my God, guys, look what I just opened. This is amazing. Look at it. It's great. Blah, 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 blah. And then you submit like 4 minutes of it and then they pay you $20, $30 for it.
So if you do like 10 of those a week, you got paid $200 for collabs that you never had to post on Instagram, and you get real used to churning them out. You're not like so invested for every single one. You'll have like props you pull down, like you know exactly what you're doing after like 30 of those.
I guess my last question would be, whenever you propose to a business, do you immediately send your media kit in your proposal? No.
I don't always. So like the way that I would see it is like, hi Emily, nice to meet you. By the way, pay me $100. So that would be like that's the equivalent of it. And I think I love the way Jen kind of like works them. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not as like nice as Jen is. Jen is like, hey, I hearted your thing and blah, blah, blah. And like she builds up to, she had a great example, and it was it the aqua thing, babe? I think it was like the aqua, so. Like, I don't know, it was like an ice cream.
If you like enough pictures of ice cream, people will give you free ice cream.
But Jen had like, Jen had like hard-eyed and like talked to them through their story. And I'm talking about like, this is like a 2-week progression of like, hey
Shut
guys,
up. It was
so great. Oh my gosh. But it was great because it showed that she had an authentic care for this brand. So then they contacted her and said, hey, why don't you come in and try this stuff out? We would love for you to take photos. We love your feed. We love your content. So because they know that she's alive, they know she's around, and they've seen that she gives a crap about the brand. For me in the past, who did I pitch to? It was Mex Bars. I get on here and I'm like, guys, make sure that you message something like meaningful, like good. And I literally reached out to them and was like, hey, I saw you're collabing with influencers. Are you still collabing with people? And they were like, yes. And I was like, great, I'd love to collab with y'all. And they're like, awesome. So that was the extent of my conversation with them. But just my method is just keep it simple, stupid. I used to send like this huge thing. Me and Jen, it's so funny how we've progressed over the past year. It used to be like, hi, we're from Dallas Social Influencers and we're influencers who do blah, 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 blah. And these are all the things that we do. And it was like, now we just reach out and we're like, hi, how's it going? We're Dallas Social Influencers. We'd love to partner with you. Do you guys have a collaboration email? Yeah, sure, we do. Or left on scene. And then if they do, then we reach out and we send them an email, and then we hope that conversation keeps going. We have gotten so much more collaborations by not overselling ourselves from the get-go and simply just asking, because these people don't care. They see all that and they may not even be the actual marketing people, and they go, pass. So just asking and saying, so actually I've reached out to a couple of different spots. maybe one night I'm like super like, okay, these are all the spots I'm going to pitch to. And I will literally just copy and paste, and I'll choose like all of like my food ones, and I'll have the same generic message. Like, hi, my name is Jocelyn. I'm a local Dallas influencer. And I'd love to collaborate with you guys, or I'd love to feature you guys on my page. Do you guys have a collaboration email that I can reach out to? Super simple. And then some of them will leave me on scene. A few of them will be like, yeah, sure. Here's the email, contact such and such. Cool. So just keep it simple. Don't overthink it, and just reach out and start doing that. So, you know, a couple of y'all were on the last call. So definitely keep pitching spots. If at this point you haven't gotten a collaboration yet, just from you individually reaching out to spots, maybe send me what you're using to pitch, and like, let's take a look at it and like review it and see like what you could change, you know, maybe what else you need to like throw in there to spice it up a little bit. But that's pretty much it, guys. If you guys don't have any other questions.
I'll say one last thing. You guys are not asking this question, and you should be. How can I get people to pitch to me, right? Why am I not getting invited places? Why am I not getting asked to be in campaigns? If you haven't thought about who your active follower is, who you're talking to when you post a post, who you're speaking to when you share stories, define who that user is, who that audience is for you. And then start to think about the few things you're known for. Emily, I know you are an actress. I know you have music and theater in your background. If you were to partner with things that supported music and television and art, I would not be surprised. And I would think she needs to be at that next fun thing, because she's always at that stuff, right? I want to, what are you known for, and think about what you are projecting out there. For instance, sometimes just being super supportive of Dallas Social and stuff becomes our brand. And I got my highest paid campaign just from girls supporting girls. Apparently there's an International Day of the Girl, and someone somewhere saw my page at some point and thought she'd be great to point that out. So who knows, but that's what somehow someone knew me for, and that's how I got paid. So think about what you're known for and who you're talking to. Basic, but review that, and then those people who you're constantly talking to are going to hear you eventually and come to you. So I did also get a weird collaboration offer for some type of colon cleanse though, so I don't actually know anything. I don't know what I'm putting off, you guys, so I don't know. I don't know what amount of money. I do not know what amount of money. Hundreds. So if you see some like, if you see like up on my feed, just know I got paid, okay? That's not,
yeah, but there is something to be said about, listen, you don't have to, like, finding those collaborations that make sense for you. Do not be a walking freaking billboard, please. Do not constantly, how can your followers trust you if every single post is, and here's the code for blah, 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 and here's the thing, and here's the bot, and here's the product, and here's the thing. Like, sometimes think in terms of like, if you were watching their page, or if you were watching your own page as an outsider, what would you want to see? You know, what makes you feel authentic? What makes you feel real? Like, how do your people connect with you? And then based off of what is truly your brand, what would they trust you to post about? So in my case, if I straight up start posting about fashion, they're going to look at me and be like, you're crazy. Like, so if I post about my graphic tees, they're going to be like, that makes sense. If I post about beer or somewhere to go drink or somewhere to go out in Dallas, they're going to be like, this makes sense, right? But if I post about skincare, if I post about fashion, if I post about certain things that are outside of what my niche is, it just doesn't feel authentic, and it's not going to do as well. So for sure, figure out that niche, guys, and that's going to help you as well when it comes to these collabs. So I hope that kind of helped you guys, motivated y'all a little bit to maybe start your media kit if you haven't already done it. Here's the thing. You really just need to make like a basic one. Just have it kind of pending in Canva. And then when they ask you, because if not, you're literally going to have to like panic make one in the middle of the night and be like, ah. So like try to put some of those things together. Like I said, I'm going to send you guys this PDF and then those two examples if y'all want them. And I'll send them over and you guys can just review them and take a look at like what you can create and then just kind of go from there. It's going to help a lot just to have that, because then you can kind of refer back to it and go like, oh, that's right, I did do that collab. And as you sit there, you may be surprised. And even you, Katie, you may be surprised at, holy crap, I have done some really cool stuff. So just kind of like write those things down. Include the things you've done even with DSI. Whoever, I know like Gabby, Emily, a couple of y'all have gone to quite a few of the things. Write all of those things down. Even if you were just a buddy and went to snow day or whatever, it doesn't matter. Add those things in. That still counts. You were there. You were there for the media preview, the Arboretum, all of those things that you went to, all of those count. Every single one of those. So write those down. So
last minute pitch, if you need help remembering what you did, getting that hype up that counted or not, or even just having an overview like chat. Josh and I always offer those like 1 hour sessions. Media kits for me are a little more involved, but I can always show you stuff, how to coach you on it. And I can always create a rate sheet. So $20, let me know. And if you need longer chats, just let us know what you're thinking. We'll work with you guys. Okay.
all right, my loves.
Anything
I will
else,
talk
Josh?
to y'all later. I'm going to stop recording.
Did we take a picture?
Oh, no, we didn't. I guess we should.
She always gets
Hold
mad.
on, let
if
me
we
stop
take a
recording
picture.
for